Don't make the black kids angry.
Yeah.
Over the last 5 years, the fellas and their lovely ladies have taught us at least two really, really important life lessons. These are lessons we've learned from watching the newspapers, TV, radio, CNN, NPR, MSNBC, New York Times, Washington Post. And maybe the first one was almost the biggest one, but it got a little confusing along the way. Does anybody remember a little town called Ferguson, Missouri, suburb of St. Louis? It's all St. Louis, okay? So, after St. Michael Brown of Ferguson was shot and killed for no reason whatsoever by that big bad white racist cop down there, we all learned the lesson that's all cops do all the time. They just go around looking for black people to pick on so they can shoot them when their hands are in the air. Well, after local, state, a couple of state, couple of county, and even the federal investigators got done with that, they pulled the greatest bait and switch in the history of legal jurisprudence in this country. When one day we're talking about how white cops are rolling around shooting black people for no reason whatsoever, but apparently that turned out not to be true. Then the next day, the Attorney General of the United States comes out in a press conference, and he told us the real lesson of Ferguson is that too many black people down there were getting traffic tickets, and that's why everybody was so damn pissed off, and that's why we had the riots. That's why we have the crime, violence, and mayhem in Ferguson before, after, and during the riots. So damn it, they got to stop issuing traffic tickets down there because driving while black is not a crime. Capiche? Yeah, admittedly, Mr. Holder didn't draw as much attention to his traffic writing ticket crisis as he did to white cops roaming the country shooting black people for no reason. Point of view that they were promoting for a long time. But anyway, so we learned that, and the cops learned that, the traffic ticket thing, don't give tickets to black people. It's just not fair. Well, the chickens in St. Louis have come home to roost.
A North County man is accused of causing a deadly crash and then running from the scene, leaving behind 4 victims, including his own 7-month-old son.
A police dog tracked down 22-year-old Travion Smith. Here's Fox 2's Andy Banker now on the charges he is facing and the man who was killed.
Police say 68-year-old Joseph Powell, a grandfather, was at this stoplight at Natural Bridge and Fair, just 2 blocks from being back home when he was hit and killed.
He's going to be missed around here.
Maddie Whitfield lives across the hall from what is now Powell's former apartment.
Just 1 block.
Police say he died in his SUV less than 2 hours after he said goodbye to his longtime friend and neighbor.
Good morning, Joe. So that was it.
Smith is charged with second-degree murder, endangering the welfare of a child, leaving the scene of an accident resulting in death, resisting arrest by fleeing, and armed criminal action. Police give this account. An officer tried to pull over the convertible Smith was driving. For multiple traffic offenses, Smith drove off, running red lights, driving the wrong way at speeds of at least 70 miles an hour on city streets before crashing into Powell's SUV, killing Powell, also injuring Smith's son and 2 adults in his car, then leaving them all and running off to hide in a vacant building 3 blocks away on Lexington. Smith lost a shoe as he ran. A police dog picked up his scent from the shoe and tracked him down.
They don't take their life serious and other people's life serious. No? You could be here this minute, go the next minute. Look at Joe. Joe was here this minute, he gone the next minute. Yeah, it's just sad. He was a good man and a good neighbor.
Smith's passengers remain hospitalized. He's being held without bond.
Isn't it amazing how, not one person will step up and say, not one old fuddy-duddy like me will step up and say, hey, if we stop enforcing the traffic laws, there's probably going to be a lot more traffic accidents, right? I mean, they go through the same thing in San Francisco where they issue tickets to black people, and 50% of the people who failure to appear for a court action are black in San Francisco. That's in a town where there's only 6% black people. The supervisors, the county supervisors, and the city councilmen up there, they've got it all figured out. that the reason for the enormous disparity between the 6% population and the 50% failure to appear is obviously that white cops are picking on black people in San Francisco. That's the only conceivable explanation. Solution: we've got to start writing a lot fewer tickets up there, just like they did in St. Louis, with such remarkable deadly consequences. So that's the first lesson. What's the second lesson? We learned it last summer. Does anybody remember when that white lady was at the door of her condo and she closed it, and behind her, or she tried to close it, behind her a fella was forcing his way in the door. He insisted he had a key. He insisted he was entitled to be there, though he did not show his key, and the white woman did not want to let him in and followed him to his room. I think she even called the cops.
Please move, ma'am.
I can.
Okay.
Do you live here?
I'm going to answer that question. Excuse me.
I'm sorry. The keypad is right there.
Okay. I understand that, ma'am.
You can film me. That's
okay.
fine.
I understand, ma'am, but you're blocking me.
Into my building.
Okay. And
okay.
it's my building as well, so I need you to get out my way.
Okay, what unit?
I don't need to tell you that information. So excuse me, ma'am.
I'm uncomfortable.
Okay, you can be uncomfortable. That's your discretion. You're uncomfortable because you're you. I need you to move out my way, please.
No.
Ma'am, please stop touching me.
I'm not touching you.
You just was previously before.
I'm not touching you at all.
So I'm going to step in.
I'm not touching you, and I'm not in any way doing anything outside of letting my dog go to the bathroom.
Okay, and I live here and you're blocking the door.
What unit?
I don't need to tell you that. What unit do you live in?
307.
Okay, great. I'm on the 4th floor. Excuse me.
No. You don't have a key fob. You are... No. No.
If
you have that, then okay.
Ma'am, you're not security. You're not the property manager. You're not Mike Herman.
No, but I live here.
Okay, and I live here too. You're not Mike Herman. You're not Rick.
I don't like the fact you have your phone in my face.
Okay, I don't like the fact that you're blocking me for where I pay.
Anyway, the whole world came down on her. She was fired from her job. She was vilified as the worst person in the world because what right do you, as a white person, have to deny entrance to a condo to any black person who says they have the right to be there? Well, that's the big life lesson is none of us have that right. Not even the people in this video.
Our kids up to no good, trashing a Center City condo building for no reason whatsoever. Now, this isn't a case of young people not knowing any better. That's vandalism, and police say it's not the first time something like this has happened recently. Fox 29's Jennifer Joyce live in Center City. Jennifer.
Yeah, good evening, Lucy. And it's more than just trashing a front lobby. You'll see on this video the kids going in, opening people's packages, stealing what they want. Another recent theft happened at this building here behind me. We're at 12th and Walnut Streets.
Hopefully they'll be taught a lesson.
Outside the classroom, up to no good, and the bad behavior is caught on tape. Let's rewind. Watch how this pack of young thieves slips in through the front door of a condominium complex near 18th and Chestnut Streets. Then they head straight for a pile of packages, rummaging through, throwing to the ground, and even stealing at the last second. It happened around 4:30 Tuesday afternoon.
I feel like, why are these children not doing something else instead of vandalizing, buildings in Center City, Philadelphia?
This resident who didn't want to be identified shared the building surveillance video with us. She also shared it with police and local schools in hopes of finding these kids who appear to be middle schoolers.
This is not acceptable behavior.
Police tell us they're already investigating another similar theft that happened Saturday afternoon at an apartment complex near 12th and Walnut Streets. Sources say a resident who was leaving the building held the door open for a group of kids eager to get inside. Then police say the bold crew strolled into a common area where they stole 2 Apple desktop computers and took off.
So I got the email this morning and I was like, wow, I had no idea that it happened and it was scary.
Callie Mangle says she never thought twice about holding the door for the next person. It's common courtesy. But now she's reevaluating that and hopes property managers also take a closer look at their safety measures.
I hope they amp up security for sure. Our lease is renewing soon, so it's definitely going to make us double think what we're doing.
In this video, of course, the people are going in and out. They're going, oh, excuse me, young people. May I hold the young black people? May I hold the door for you? Yeah, just go in You can get the computers. They're off there in the little room on the right. They're Apple computers. Yeah, don't forget to, unplug them before you steal them. You don't want to rip the cord out of the wall or anything. And so now all these life lessons that we have been taught, they're just coming home to roost more and more and more. We're seeing how stupid they were, how they were foisted upon us, how so many people acquiesce to these life lessons because so many people are terrified of these crazy names they'll call us. And the names are just multiplying. Used to be just, well, you're a bad person. You're a bad white person. You're a bad white racist person. You're a bad white nationalist person. You're a bad white supremacist person. You're a bad white fill-in-the-blank person. And reporters, they just cannot get enough of calling us those names, and we cannot get enough of being afraid of it. And so our streets are more dangerous. So our lobbies are now under constant attack. And all of us are just sitting in the corner. We're cowering. We're shivering. In case a reporter comes by, he's going to call us a name. Wow. I just saw this morning that Candace Owen is on some kind of list at Facebook because she said, hey, black people, you don't have to worry about white supremacy. You have to worry about liberal supremacy. They're the ones ruining the world. Facebook said that violated community standards.
Please, sir. I want some more.
What?
Please, sir. I want some more.
Wow. And so the bar is going in two directions. While in one direction, the standard for being declared a very, very bad person for something you see or do is getting lower. But the penalties for being that person, even that the penalties are higher. I don't know what the answer is. I don't know what the reason is. All I know is, man, there's a lot of people really worried about making the black kids angry.